Hello everyone, in this section we are going to talk about what-if analysis, which is the common use of Excel in business cases. Spreadsheet models and business decisions are often based on assumptions about input variables. For example, suppose that a manager is trying to determine the price of a new product in order to maximize the firm's profit. The manager needs to make assumptions about the sensitivity of the demand for the product at different price levels, the cost of components that suppliers may charge the firm, the selling cost of the product, etc. Sensitivity analysis helps the decision maker estimate how the target outputs of the model would change if one or more input variables are changed. Sensitivity analysis is a crucial part of decision making, especially when multiple input variables, both controllable and uncontrollable, are involved, and the relationships between the variables are intertwined and complex. The technique allows the decision maker to ask the what-if questions about possible alternative futures. Therefore, it's often referred to as what-if analysis. And in this section of the course, we are going to explore three types of what-if analysis for spreadsheet models, which are data table, goal seek, and scenario manager. A data table shows how the calculated results change if one or two input variables change within a range of possible values. A one-way data table allows you to determine the sensitivity of the output variable to a range of values of a single input variable. For example, you can use a one-way data table to compare the return on invested capital, which is called ROIC, of a business. The ROIC is influenced by a variety of factors, such as inventory turnover, manufacturing overhead, logistic costs, the corporate tax rate, etc. In a one-way data table, you can compare how different values of one input variable influence the ROIC by holding the remaining input variables constant. And we also have two-way data table, which in this case, two-way data table lets you change two input variables at a time. For example, to understand the combination effect of down payment and interest rate on the monthly mortgage payment of a house, you can construct a two-way data table that calculates the mortgage payments for all possible pairs of down payment, amount, and interest rate. So here we will continue on the example of the Claire's situation. And in this video, I'm just going to explain where she can use what-if analysis in different scenarios. And then in the next video and the following videos, I'm going to show how to implement these different what-if analysis in Excel. So after creating the spreadsheet model to predict her retirement savings over 30 years, Claire wants to see how different saving rates, ranging from 6% to 15% with 1% increments, would change the retirement savings at the end of the 30-year period. She also learned that different asset allocation strategies would lead to different returns on investment. A bigger allocation to riskier assets tends to generate higher average returns over the long run and vice versa. And we will determine how different contribution rates combined with different projected returns, which are ranging from 5 to 10% with 1% increments, would change Claire's retirement savings in the following video. But for now, let's look at a table for one-way data table. And in this data table, you'll realize that one input variable, which is the saving rate, is ranging from 6% to 15% with 1% increments. And you can see in the second column what is going to be the retirement balance after 30 years based on the saving rates. And in the screen, now you see the two-way data table where you have two input variables. One is the saving rate, which is changing from 6% to 15%. And the next one is the return on investment, which is ranging from 5% to 10%. And the numbers in this Excel file are the retirement account balance after 30 years. So, as this example demonstrates, a data table displays the computation results for a range of possible values of one or two input variables. The one-way data table allows you to compare results based on the varying values of one input variable. Because the results for each output variable are displayed in a column, you can display multiple output variables in a one-way data table. However, for two-way data table, where the computation results are based on combined effect of two input variables, only the values of one output variable can be displayed at the intersection of each pair of possible values. Claire is amazed by the huge differences in retirement savings at the end of a 30-year career with different saving rates and return rates. She realizes that having a sizable nest egg in the future depends on both how diligent she is a saver and how savvy she is an investor. While it's impossible to predict how the investments will perform in the future, if she saves aggressively, she will have a much better chance of securing a comfortable retirement. The next what-if analysis scenario is goal-seek. Excel's goal-seek is the what-if analysis that can determine the exact value of the input variable required to achieve a desired outcome. For example, if your monthly budget allows you to spend $250 on a car payment, you can use goal-seek to find out the maximum price of a vehicle that you can afford, or the financing options, for example, interest rate and term year, that would make purchasing a certain vehicle feasible. In other words, goal-seek allows you to set a desired outcome or goal, for example, spending no more than $250 on the car payment, by experimenting with one input variable at a time, for example, the price of the vehicle, interest rate, or term year. Goal-seek works backward to identify the exact value for an input variable to reach the desired outcome. Here, again, we will continue with the Claire's case. I will explain the situation where goal-seek can be utilized by Claire. Inspired by FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early movement, which advocates achieving early retirement through aggressive saving and investment, Claire is rethinking her retirement timeline. She is curious to find out if it's possible to have a nest egg of $1.5 million after working for 20 years if she saves diligently and invests in assets that would have an average annual return of 10%. If it is possible, what saving rate would help Claire achieve this goal? So this is a type of example that you need to use goal-seek because her goal is to save 1.5 million nest egg after 20 years, and she needs to find the saving rate and the investment return rate to achieve this goal. And the third case that we use what-if analysis is Scenario Manager. A data table allows you to change up to 2 input variables, whereas goal-seek only allows you to adjust the value of one variable at a time. Sometimes managers may want to understand the combined effect of multiple input variables on an output variable. Scenario Manager allows you to create and compare up to 32 possible scenarios based on multiple input variables. You can use Scenario Manager to create a summary report that shows both the input values stored in each scenario and the results. A small business owner may create 3 scenarios, best case, worst case, and most likely case scenarios to help him or her make informed decisions about the company's expansion plan. In the best case scenario, the business owner may specify high market demand for products, a low interest rate for borrowing, and a favorable foreign exchange rate for reducing material costs and etc. The worst case scenario, on the other hand, would describe a bleaker outlook with all variables turning negative for the business. The most likely case scenario describes something in between with a mixture of favorable and unfavorable variable values. By comparing these scenarios, the business owner can assess the risk associated with the company's expansion plan if one of these scenarios materializes in the future. Here again, we will continue with Claire's case and understand how she can utilize Scenario Manager to make a decision. In addition to the initial job offer, Claire has received job offers from 3 companies that she is interested in working for. The first offer is from a national healthcare company located in the city Claire currently lives in. It offers an annual salary of $60,000 and a 3.5% company match on retirement saving. Historical salary data show that employees of the company tend to receive a stable salary increase of 3% each year. Due to the relatively low cost of living in the college town where Claire lives, Claire projects that she will be able to save an extra 5% of her salary for retirement, bumping her saving rate to 15%. The second offer comes from a small startup company that is located in the metropolitan area. While the starting salary of $48,000 is lower than what Claire expected, the company shows great growth potential and will likely increase employee salaries at a faster pace, around 5%. In addition, the company boasts excellent benefits, including a 5% company match on retirement savings. Finally, the third offer is from a global consulting company in a metropolitan area. The company offers a salary of $65,000 and an average of 4% annual salary increase. However, the company only offers 2% match for retirement savings. Faced with these choices, Claire wants to understand how accepting these job offers would impact her retirement savings after 10, 20, and 30 years. And we will use Scenario Manager to help Claire evaluate these scenarios. And here are the results of the Scenario Manager, which I'm going to show how to get to this table in a separate video. The report lists the input values for the 3 scenarios as well as the balances after 10, 20, and 30 years in the resulting cells. G21 refers to 10 years, G31 20 years, and G41 is 30 years. And they are under each scenario. The result indicates that the job offer from the National Healthcare Organization results in the highest retirement savings after 10, 20, and 30 years. The increased saving rate due to low cost of living of the college town plays a key role in growing the retirement savings. Despite offering the highest starting salary, the offer from the global consulting company finishes last in terms of retirement savings after 20 and 30 years. While the startup company offers the lowest starting salary, which resulted in a lower retirement saving balance after the first 10 years, it outperforms the global consulting company scenario after 20 and 30 years due to better salary growth potential and employee benefit it offers. So these are the 3 cases that you can use what-if analysis, and in the following videos I'm going to show each of these cases in Excel and how to apply in Claire's situation. Thank you for watching this video.